Welcome to 1111, which is a segment from my podcast where I talk about a topic for 11 minutes and 11 seconds. Today's topic is rejection, is protection. There's a saying, it's a saying, and it was rejection is God's protection. And you know how I feel about God, although I have, come to like an agreement that God is just a form of a higher power, and that it's like higher power, and then there's like God, logic, yourself, love, whatever your higher power is, the universe, a dog, a cat, whatever. So, rejection is higher powers protection. I sound like the freaking like a Christian giving the talk. I hate that. But I feel like I have quite the um what's the word? I'm very used to rejection. I feel like I learned that at an early age with one being religion and God, organized religion, God, but also my parents. Um, I I feel like growing up very, from a very Christian household, you grow up with the mentality that like, you know, you can't be different and you cannot be yourself, and you have to become a version of become a version that the Bible wants from you, and you cannot be who you actually are. And that I feel like at that time, like me being a young kid, that was like the worst thing that I could probably ever thought of. I was like, wow, like this creator that this religion made me believe does not love me and will never love me. And it was just like one of the hardest truths I've ever had as, a kid. And you grow up with that mentality. And then as you get older and you inform your parents of said decision, you get rejected. And you're like, what the hell? Like I've been rejected by the own humans who were, promised to love me forever and ever and ever. And as a kid, you grow up with this thinking of like, my parents are going to love me unconditionally. Like there's nothing that I will do that my parents will not love me, because that is all I've known. I've known that to be loved by both parents, and I've known that, all the rest of my siblings get loved unconditional, so I'm going to get loved unconditionally. Well, here's the thing. Your siblings are a little bit different than you, so you will not get loved unconditionally. There is a condition to your parents' love, and that is a form of rejection to me. I was rejected the love that I truly love, that I truly deserved. And, you know, it's sometimes during that time it was one of the hardest times for me, but I learned that I just because I didn't get that form of love, I didn't deserve any other form of love from them. So I learned to accept their conditional love. And I learned that I will probably never get my parents' full unconditional love, and that is okay with me because I am happy with the form of love that I have now. So I feel like at that time, at my younger teenager years, um, it wasn't time for me to be loved by my parents, or it wasn't necessarily, I wasn't mature enough to realize that just because this didn't work out doesn't mean that nothing else will work out. And I feel like that's a really good lesson to learn with rejection. I feel like me growing up, a brown skinned kid in a, primarily white neighborhood and schools, I felt some sort of, well, I did feel rejection from the other kids. And it was also very tough because me being, biracial and being mixed, um, Mexican and American, it's just very difficult because you're rejected um, by the Mexican culture, and then you're also rejected from the American culture, and it feels like, okay, I don't have a place to fit in right now, and it sucks, and it's awful, but it's just something that we have to do in order to, like being rejected from society. It's kind of like, all right, so now we have to figure out how we're going to like make our stamp in society. How I'm going to be not accepted, because that's something that I've learned also. Like rejection, you crave the acceptance and you crave to be loved and you crave to be accepted or whatever. We're not I feel like I'm at a point where I don't want validation from others. Like I unless it's someone's opinion that truly matters to me, I couldn't care less about someone else's validation now at, through therapy and through mental work. But before, being 14, 15 in a middle school or high school full of white people when you're the only brown kid there at times, yeah, you want to be accepted at some point. You want to feel, included. And that was also a form of rejection for me for a while. And then, I made friends. I also feel like jobs, colleges, opportunities, lovers, crushes, whatever, we're going to be rejected by those sooner or later. And if not, then tight, great. I love that. And if most likely we will, it's not the last thing in the world. We're probably going to be accepted and rejected and appreciated and loved and hate and all of those things at one point in our life. And I feel like rejection is just another. A rejection is just something else that, we most likely have to face, because not everyone's going to like us, not everyone is going to accept us, not everyone is going to enjoy our company and appreciate our company and whatever it is. No, not everyone will do that. So we have to learn how to feel confident in ourselves and how to be more kind of like not caring what others say about you, because once you get rejected once, you're like, okay, whatever, I'll get it next time, or something better will come. And I think that's an amazing feeling to have. You're trusting in your higher power to bring a better thing for you, because I don't believe in like everything is like everything happens for a reason. I don't believe in that, um because there's just a lot of unfair stuff that's happening in the world that does not explain your logic. So no, but I do believe that there might be something better. Like everything will work out. I believe that everything will work out at the end, and if it's not working out, it's not the end. I believe that we will have better things that we've been rejected from, and we will have better things than what we have, been given so half of. Like sometimes we're rejected and we settle because I feel like, if I get rejected but I change a little, or I can, act differently to this next person, I won't get rejected. And then it becomes an inner problem. Then it becomes like I'm the problem because that I get rejected. It's like, no, stink. Like you're just not going to be accepted by everyone. And people, it's just not your day. It's just not your human. And I feel like there's power in being like, that's my protection. I'm being protected from this situation. And if that's what you want to tell yourself, I love that. I think that's so helpful. And it's a healthy habit to use, for rejection. But I just don't want to get insecure about it. I don't want this to affect, my mental health at all. Just because sometimes we work so hard on building, on working out, on going to the gym, on eating healthier. And, we get strong and we don't get, if we get punched, we don't get knocked down. But we've often, at least I do, sometimes forget about my brain. I forget to strengthen that brain. And although, I'm fit and, I feel like I'm hot. um, my brain is still stuck on being, chubby and not accepted and, not gone through puberty. So it's just like you also have to strengthen your mind and validate your mind. So when we do get rejected, it's nothing happens to us. We don't react bad. We have to not take it personal. how they choose is up, like, it's that's their person. Like, that's, don't take anything personal, because then when we do get rejected, we're like, we'll brush it off. And I think that's a really good mindset to have. And I think it's something important that I've worked on, just because, I've been rejected a couple times in my life. And not really by lovers or like crushes. That usually does not happen. um, but it did happen in the beginning with all the at the white schools. But actually, I kind of figured like that's when my confidence grew, and I feel like confidence kind of shows through. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you if we work on our confidence, on being able to brush stuff off, then everything kind of aligns for us. Like, just trust that the universe has something better for us, and it usually does, Stinky. So bye. I love ya. Be safe.